Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Around the Leagues podcast. I'm your host, Luke Parrish. With me, as always, is Keenan Allstott. How you doing today, Keenan?
Oh, a little under the weather, but Michael Jordan, he had the flu game. This is going to be the flu podcast. How about that?
Hey, I like that energy. I can respect it. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
So today, gonna mix it up a little bit. We're gonna go mostly baseball all day. Pitchers and catchers report this week. Baseball season just around the corner, so we're gonna kind of lead you guys into kind of preseason predictions. But I know before we do all that, Keenan wants to talk about the controversial UFC 247 fight on Saturday night, and I didn't have a chance to watch it myself, so I'll let Keenan take over. So, what are your thoughts on that one, Keenan?
Well, so last week I predicted both of the title fights. I predicted Valentina Shevchenko was going to obliterate, quote unquote, the tomato can she was facing. Apologies to Caitlin Chukagian. She was the rightful number one contender. Shevchenko, she's a different kind of cat. She meows different. When she slaps you with that paw print, that's game, set, match. She's other than Amanda Nunes, she might be the best female fighter walking on the planet today. Very intelligent fight she had. She dominated from start to finish. She was a minus 1250 favorite going into Saturday night with good reason. And I think she put on a masterclass performance, set the UFC women's flyweight record for most wins in division history. She's going to continue doing good things, and I don't see a single woman in that division beating her unless Amanda Nunes can somehow cut an additional 10 pounds. Don't see it happening anytime soon, but I'd be there for it. The main event, Jon Jones, Dominick Reyes. We got to talk about this one, folks. Dominick Reyes was a plus 375 dog to Jones's minus 550 favorite. I watched the fight live on Saturday. I watched it back earlier this morning. Live, I had the fight round one. Reyes knocked him down the first, left to the body. Was pretty quick. He dominated. I thought the first round was Reyes clear as day. Second round, I saw some people going back and forth on Twitter. MMA Twitter was like, I think this is Reyes, but I can see you giving it to Jones. I thought it was very clear. Dominick Reyes won the second. Going into the third, I had him up 2-0. Third round is where it started getting a little bit edgier. Reyes, he had to empty the gas tank to get those opening rounds. I think Reyes did enough to edge the third. Going into the championship rounds, I had him winning 3-0. You could go either way on the third. I had him edging the third. The fourth is where Jones started to turn it around. He got the multiple takedowns. He started connecting with punches. Reyes started to tire out. I thought Jon Jones edged the fourth. I saw people making cases for Dominick Reyes winning the fourth. I wouldn't be mad if somebody called the fight 4-0 to Reyes, but I had it 3-1 going into the fifth. Jon Jones, he's one of the greatest champions in UFC history. I don't think he's the greatest fighter given his history, but he is one of the greatest champions. What champions do? They win the fifth round. Jon Jones, his first fight against Alexander Gustafsson, won the fifth round. Anthony Smith won the fifth round. I do believe he lost the fifth against Santos back in July, but on Saturday night, he won the fifth round clear, and that was the round that retained the title on Saturday night. Now, I will say, when they announced the scorecards were trash all night long. Multiple bad decisions. I did not agree with them. This was atrocious, though. They announced the judges' scorecards. They announced 48-47, 48-47, 49-46. With my analysis that I just gave you, when I rewatched it, I thought it was going to be the same thing, right? They announced those scorecards. I thought Dominick Reyes was going to hear and knew. When they said and still, I was shocked. I don't see how anyone can watch that fight and give Jon Jones 4 rounds. I hope they run that back immediately, maybe during International Fight Week in July. I hope this pumps the brakes on the Jon Jones moving to heavyweight talk. I think he's got unfinished business with Dominick Reyes. I believe Dominick Reyes has a very good claim to be the uncrowned champ, the people's champ, and I hope he gets that rematch with Jon Jones soon.
Yeah, I agree. I wish I could have caught it.
Title fight predictions this year, but I really do think I should be 1-1. I believe Dominick Reyes won that fight.
Hey, I wish I could have watched it. I had a lot of different circumstances this week. I was out of town Saturday. Didn't have power most of the day Sunday, so I didn't get to catch much of it. I saw through Twitter and stuff, and apologize. My dogs are barking up a storm up there if you can hear that. But I saw the controversy on Twitter. Everybody was kind of flip-flopping on who they thought won, but I'm not as into into fighting. I just want to see somebody kick some ass, but that's all I know about it.
And coming up here in the next month, we got two big fights. We got probably the second most anticipating boxing fight of the last 25 years. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 2 in 12 days. That's going down. I believe that's going down in Las Vegas. I'm not going to be in attendance. I'm going to watch that live. I'm looking forward to that. And then next month for the UFC Middleweight Championship of the World, Israel Adesanya versus Yoel Romero. That's going to be a great fight. It could be Yoel's last chance to win UFC gold. I'm looking forward to that next month as well.
Absolutely. So I guess fighting's out of the way a little bit.
Yeah.
There wasn't really a lot around the world of sports this week. The NFL wrapped up last week. The XFL kicked off this weekend, and that was
Battlehawks, baby.
Battlehawks, yeah.
Battlehawks, day one.
Underdogs. 9.5. How is Dallas 9.5-point favorite? And they can't even put up 9.5 points.
I saw something going around on Twitter yesterday. It was the first time a Dallas football team was playing post January 28th in like 25 years. Still find a way to lose, baby. That's what I like to hear.
That's the Dallas way right there.
Yes,
the Battlehawks. That's our team, and they played pretty well. They were in a tough environment. I believe they play Houston this weekend. The Roughnecks, both undefeated. Only 4 undefeated teams left in the league.
Yeah.
Marquette King had probably the best day of anybody in the league. He was bombing those balls. He was punting the hell out of it. Good to see a punter get
that one on the one, and then his teammate knocked it into the end zone.
Ran right through it. I don't know what he was doing, but man, that was a beautiful punt. And I think he had said the XFL ball, it's harder to get used to, but it's easier to basically punt the shit out of. So it's good that he got one. He had a few really nice ones. So I think he'll end up getting an NFL job this come August at the latest. So
yeah, for sure.
Other than that, basketball was kind of slow this week.
Going back to the XFL for a minute, what did you think of the first weekend overall? Did you like the play that you saw? Did you like the format? Did you like the presentation?
I think they did a really good job with marketing everything and getting, their broadcast booths were so good from what I saw. I only got to catch some of it Saturday while I was at a restaurant. We caught a little bit of whatever the first game was. I'm drawing a blank. I think it was the DC Defenders. I caught a little bit of that one. And then yesterday I watched both games.
Yeah.
So those were both good. Pat McAfee been out there. He always brings energy to the sideline. So that was fun. I think having talking to the players and everything is always a good look. So I think from that standpoint, from just being new and being fun, I think they did a really good job of just coming out swinging and had a really good first week. I didn't really see any negative reviews.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with myself. I hope they succeed. I think it gives a lot of aspiring players a chance to not only make a paycheck but get national exposure and maybe make it up to the NFL. I believe that's where everybody wants to be. I believe this gives everybody a nice palate cleanser from the NFL, but still satiates the appetite for football. So
yeah, and the NFL can learn a lot from the XFL. We've seen those new rules. It looks like everybody was kind of all in on the new kickoff rule with everybody lining up, not at the 35 where they're kicking, but down the field, waiting for the ball to be caught before they engage. And the extra point thing's a bit different. I don't like that a whole lot just because anything can happen. I don't really know if anybody even had any this weekend, any successful conversions, but it definitely makes the game more fun. They put the spread and stuff on the bottom ticker during the game to keep bettors interested. So
sure,
everything like that. I think they did a really good job of just keeping their brand going and doing it for the fans, and I think that was good. Yeah, but hopefully the second weekend can keep up. It was a hot first weekend, so
yeah,
hopefully they can keep that momentum.
I saw the overnight numbers. They did 3.5 million viewers. There's a lot of things out there. NBA on Wednesday nights, they don't get 3.5 million.
No.
You know, Sunday Night Baseball, I don't care which teams are playing, they're not getting $3.5 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's obviously a market. They have an audience. Let's see what they do to capitalize it in the weeks going forward.
Yeah, it'll be fun. I can't wait to see what happens, and hopefully the Battlehawks keep doing that thing. So I guess for the rest of this time, we're gonna kind of lead you guys into some baseball. I don't know exactly when pitchers and catchers report this week, but
I believe they began reporting today, actually. Some teams had them coming in today.
all right, makes it even better. So baseball season's here. We just had the back and forth trade between the Dodgers and Red Sox, and I think the Twins were involved, but who can keep up? The Dodgers and Angels broke off their trade for Jock Peterson.
Yeah.
So things are all over the place. There's now rumors of Chris Bryant being traded. Nolan Arenado still isn't happy in Colorado. So I guess with baseball season on the way, we've got a lot to talk about. But I guess we'll start off with some predictions for the season. So we'll run through all 30 teams, give their Vegas line of their over/under win totals for the season, and then I guess just go from some more predictions, kind of postseason predictions, MVP, stuff like that. So we'll kick things off. The NL East, pretty solid division. I think they've got a lot of talent. We saw that last year with the Nationals, Phillies, and Mets came on late. Obviously, the Braves were good. So I guess we'll start with the Braves. Vegas has them right now 90.5 wins on the season. Do you think that's high, low? What are you taking?
You know, they got Acuna. It's really difficult to say because they do play in the NL East. They got the defending World Series champions in their division. They're going to meet them, 17 times throughout the year. They got to play DeGrom. They got to play Syndergaard. They got to play Aaron Nola in Philadelphia. But you also do get those wins against Miami. So
yeah,
did you say 90.5?
Yeah.
I'm going to take the under. But I believe it's going to come down to the final week. I believe it's going to be maybe an 88 or 89 win season for the Atlanta Braves. But I think they're going to make it close.
Yeah, I had them going slightly over, but I think, like you said, the NL East is always just a crapshoot because it seems like every year since I've watched baseball, the last week of the season, it's who out of the NL East is going to win and who's going to get the wild card, and it's always down to 2 or 3 teams from that division.
Sure.
But I think Atlanta's got so much star power that I think they're going to be able to pull away late in the year. I think they're going to end somewhere about 91, 92 wins. So 90.5 is definitely a reasonable line.
Yeah. They'll get a lot of action off that number.
Yeah. Next up, the Marlins. As you said, a lot of easy wins against them. They've got their line right now 64.5 heading into spring training. Not high.
Man, Vegas doesn't think they're going to lose 100 games?
No.
Wow. Give me the under on that all day.
Yep.
4.5?
Yeah. I've got them at the under as well. I mean, the thing, they don't have a lot of talent on the roster right now, and they're playing arguably the deepest and toughest division in baseball. So winning this is.
I'm a giant Jeter fan, but it really makes you question what he's doing with that team. They got rid of Stanton. I can understand why they did it to try to get money off the books, but since they've gotten him off the books, they really haven't done much to improve the team.
Yeah.
It doesn't help they play down there in their ballpark where you got to almost hit a fucking Stantonian blast to get it out.
Just to get a ticket.
Yeah,
there's like 17 people in the stands. Like it's not great right now. It's a brand new ballpark. Like you gotta boost some sales if you want to make any money back.
Yeah, I think Miami goes under.
Yeah, I do too. The New York Mets 85.5.
I'm going over on this one. I think this is a very solid number. I think the Mets are going to go over, and I think they're going to go over comfortably.
I do too.
I think Jacob deGrom, 2-time Cy Young winner, defending Cy Young winner. I think he's going to make it a 3-peat this year. I think he's going to put up his best ERA yet. I hope the Mets have enough offense to kind of give them some wins. I could see them being a low 90s team, but still missing out on the playoffs this year.
I agree. I do think that they're going to be up there. I think they're going to go over the 85.5. Their pitching staff is absurd. I have to look a little bit closer, but I think they've got probably the deepest starting rotation in baseball right now.
Oh, for
Especially
sure.
when you factor in Marcus Stroman, who caught on really well at the end of last season.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're going to be tough. I can't remember their starting lineup right now on the batting lineup, but I do know that they've got a lot of pieces. I think.
I will say though, if they can make it to the postseason, look out for them. Because you're telling me in a 5-game series, you're going to see Syndergaard and DeGrom twice.
And Stroman as your fifth, yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, if you see him in a 7-game series, you might see DeGrom in 1, 4, and 7.
Yeah, I would assume it would go DeGrom, Syndergaard, Stroman, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Stroman, DeGrom again.
Yeah.
If you're going 7, though, well, I don't know if that lineup's giving up enough runs to make you go 7. I think if they get to the playoffs, you're gonna need 3-4 runs easily to put up a fight. I mean, they're gonna be tough.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they're gonna be low 90s. I think they're just gonna miss out on the playoffs. But if they make the playoffs, boy, if you can find a good line on them, hammer.
Yep. I think they're gonna be a tough team. I'm really excited about the Phillies. They've got the issue with managerial stuff right now and all that from the Astros fallout, but I think they've got their rosters
for sure.
Definitely better than 85 wins. The Phillies right now are 84.5, so they're right there with the Mets.
Boy, that's a little tougher. Boy, 84.5. I think that's a really good number. I think 84 and 80 is or I guess what I get to be 84 and 78 would be their record. I'm gonna go slightly under on this one. I'm gonna go slightly under.
Sorry, my dogs are. Go.
Some special guests on the podcast this week. How about that?
Well, I tell them not to come in here. So I think I have the Phillies going slightly over. I just don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're a playoff team, but I think they're gonna be enough to compete and put up 86, 87 wins and miss out. I think just the overall depth in the NL right now it's gonna make it tough for anybody to put up a lot of wins, but also making the playoffs is scarce. So. Sure. I don't think the Phillies at 86, 87 wins, that's not going to get it done. The Nationals, defending champs, 88.5 wins, but they do lose Anthony Rendon.
Yeah. Wow, 88.5.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm going to go over. I think they're going to be low 90s as well. I could see 94 wins winning that division this year. I think everybody, I don't want to say everybody's a 500 team. I think everybody can be, I think everyone can be an 88 to 94 win team in that division. But, I think.
Even the Marlins?
No. I don't know if I don't think the Marlins are a 64 win team, let alone a 94 win team. Yeah, I think the Nationals are I'm going to take slightly over on that number.
That's where I disagree. I think they go slightly under. I think having that target on their back of being the defending champs, I think losing Rendon's going to hurt them quite a bit. And I think there's just so much talent in that division.
Sure.
Wins are going to be hard to come by, except for Miami, obviously. So yeah, I think Washington's the odd man out. And I think 82, 83 wins is still respectable, but I just don't think that they're going to have that firepower to get it done.
Sure.
So I guess now we got to move to the NL Central. My Chicago Cubs coming in 86.5. I'm taking the under. I'm not confident in this team at all.
Yeah, I hate to tell you this, man.
81 wins max. I'm not super high on it.
I hate to tell you this. I'm going under too, and I'm going to take the under comfortably.
Yep.
Sub 500 year for the Chicago Cubs.
Yep. And I will say, if there's a scenario where they make a trade for Chris Bryant, if they trade Chris Bryant for Nolan Arenado, I know that's been tossed around of doing basically a 1-for-1 swap. I think that improves them slightly. Not a whole lot, but I think that gives them a little bit more consistency at the plate and a much better defensive spot at third base. But still, I don't know if that's necessarily even going to be close to enough to put them in the playoff consideration. At least not right now. They've got too many young pieces. No pitching. Their pitching staff is horrid right now.
Come on, you Darvish, let's go.
I mean, he was fine, I guess, at times last year, but he just the inconsistency among the starting rotation just you can't trust it right now.
Sure.
Next up, the Cincinnati Reds, 83.5 wins is their line, and I am smashing that over. I think the Reds are one of the best teams in baseball right now.
Whoa, bold prediction.
I hate to say I'm not a Reds fan. I don't hate the Reds, but they've got a solid ass team right now. And I think they're gonna make some noise.
83.5?
Yeah.
Well, they do play the Chicago Cubs quite a bit this year.
Well,
I'm gonna take the over, but I'm not as high on them as you are. I think if Cincinnati gets the over, you'll be cashing those tickets out in the final week of the year.
Yeah. They've added so much they added Trevor Bauer.
That's true.
They added Pedro Strop, but he's just a reliever. He's nothing crazy. He had a down year last year, but hopefully he can bounce back. They added Nick Castellanos, who spent the second half of last season with the Cubs. He's a reliable bat in the outfield. Sure. I think they've got so many pieces. I think the Reds can do some serious damage.
Sure.
Next, the Brewers, 82.5. So again, you see NL Central, everybody's kind of right there with each other. Everybody's neck and neck.
And that was pretty consistent last year. It felt like everybody, they were within 5 games of each other.
It was. Yeah. Nobody knows what's going to happen, and that's what makes baseball fun. Is anybody has a chance any given day. So
sure.
I don't know.
You said the Brewers 82.5?
Yeah.
Christian Yelich. Boy. I'm going to take the over on him. I'm going to take the over. I just don't have enough reason to take the under. I mean, I don't think they're significantly worse from last year. And I mean, they were a wild card team last year. So, I got to take them,
I'm taking the under slightly. I think I just don't trust their pitching a whole lot. They did lose a couple guys, nobody huge, but I don't think they did enough in the offseason to really boost their roster, but I don't think they did a lot to damage their roster either.
Sure.
But I think when you look at the NL East, you have all these teams that can compete for a wild card. I think that's just going to keep pushing. Somebody's going to have to keep falling. I think Milwaukee's one of those fringe, but not quite top tier teams right now. Then the Marlins of the group, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they come in. Vegas has them at 69.5, which is a nice line. What do you think for Pittsburgh?
69.5.
Yeah.
Someone's got to go under in that division.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think, boy, they just don't have it. I can't name a single piece that's an asset on their team. It's just a team full of liabilities.
Yeah, Chris Archer was fine, and then he fell off hard last year.
Yeah,
he was their only real piece, I think. So,
sure. You're facing the Cardinals, and you're gonna face the Reds, and you're gonna face the Brewers that combined 55 times next year. Ooh, I could see him losing 40 of those games. Boy, give me the under on the Pirates.
I agree. Pretty much the same reasons. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to have any sort of, threat. They're not going to pose a threat. But, hey, they've got the Indianapolis Indians. That's my minor league team because that's the only team I can watch. So, go Indy. The Cardinals, as you just mentioned, 85.5 coming in, which is, right there. They're below the Cubs, which if you look at it now, Vegas has the Cubs then winning the NL Central, which was
bold.
Yeah, I would have the Cubs probably third at best. Third, yeah.
Boy, I would take that all day. I want the over on the Cards. I think the Cardinals probably end up winning the NL Central this year. They just tend to have solid teams year in and year out. They don't dip too high. They don't peak too high. You know pretty much year in and year out how good they're going to be before the season starts.
Yeah.
I think this is a year where the NL Central is down compared to other divisions. Nobody in that division really did anything to improve themselves drastically. There was rumors for several weeks about Nolan going to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got residence in Colorado for all I know. It really surprises me the lack of activity going on in the NL Central. But I think if you're going to be mediocre, be the best of the mediocre. Give me the Cardinals with the over.
I'll take the Cardinals over too. I think it comes down to them and Cincinnati with that division.
Sure.
And probably winner of that division is the only team making the playoffs. So I think I don't know how their schedules line up, but if they play each other the last week, that's going to be a fun series. So
For sure.
I don't know. I think St. Louis, they did lose Marcell Ozuna, but I think they've got so much depth. And I think, like you said, they never suck, but they're always at least respectable, and they're gonna even if they're having a down year, they're gonna beat somebody who's good and ruin their season. And that's that's makes baseball interesting. Realistically, you could have the Marlins beat the Braves and knock them out of the playoffs one day, and you won't see it coming, but it can happen. I think St. Louis, though, I think Cincinnati's the strongest team in that division, just player-wise, but I think St. Louis has the better experience, better coaching staff, all that kind of stuff. I think they've got that that extra, I guess, hunch that's going to put them over, I think. So one of them's getting it. NL West.
Ooh.
Diamondbacks, 82.5. I feel like that's high. I don't know why. I feel like that's high.
So, really, I believe all these numbers are going to be high because of the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers significantly improved their lineup. We'll get to their number here in a minute. But everybody, they've won the division by 20 games the last 5 years? Nobody's going out there and making big splashes. The Diamondbacks, what'd you say they were?
82.5.
I got to go under. I think they're a sub 500 team.
I do. I think, I would say they're probably right around between 77, 80 wins. Nothing horrible, but they're not going to compete with the Dodgers, like you said. No. We'll get to the Dodgers here in a second. I'll save them for last. The Rockies, as we keep talking about with Nolan Arenado, they've got 72.5.
And this one really depends on what you think happens with Nolan Arenado. If you think he stays for the duration of the year, I could see this going over comfortably. If you think he gets shipped out before the trading deadline, I think it's a pretty comfortable under. I think Nolan Arenado, he's the best defensive third baseman probably ever in the history of the game. Dude makes very difficult plays look routine. He's very, very good. He's very, very reliable. And if he's unhappy in Colorado, something bad is going on in Colorado. I think he does end up getting traded. Give me Colorado with the under this year.
Yeah, I think I agree. He's so good, and he's going to make that team either really good or really bad, depending on if he's there or not. And they've got Trevor Story. He's a decent young shortstop, but I just don't think they have anything really to build off of. So I take the over on the premise that he stays, but if he's gone, there's no way. If he's gone, they probably lock up a pretty high draft pick, so good for them. Next, the Padres, 81.5.
I'm going over. I like the San Diego Padres. I think they got a good team. I think if they keep building, they could be competing with the Dodgers in a few years. Not this year. Whoa, pump the brakes on that talk. I don't think they compete with the Dodgers this year. I do think they are an over team. I think they finish second in the division. Give me San Diego with the over.
I agree. I have them going second in the division. They've got so much youth, but they have enough veteran experience to where they're going to be, if not good, they're going to be fun to watch. I can watch Fernando Tatis and Manny Machado man that left side of the infield all day. So I'll take that every chance I can. I think they're going to be solid. I saw they made a few trades this offseason. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I know that they've kind of fix up their pitching staff a little bit. They still need a couple more bats. They traded Miguel Margot. Manuel Margot, that's his name. Man, I was blanking on that hard. They traded him today to kind of add some youth, but I don't know. I think they're going to at least be the second best team in that division. Doubt that gets them in the playoffs, but at least gives them hope for the future. The Giants, 69.5, losing Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about you. I am hammering the under.
They're playing the Dodgers 17 times. They're playing San Diego, who I think is surging. Boy, I don't know if they're going to lose 100, but they're going to make it close. I'm going to take San Francisco with the under.
Yep. And then the Dodgers. What do you think their line is?
So if I remember the last time I checked, and this is before the Mookie trade got confirmed, it was like 99.5.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Price and Mookie are worth. I'm going to say 100.5.
That's what it's at right now. Yep. Vegas has 100.5.
I'm going to take the over.
Yeah.
Usually,
I usually don't want to take that risk, but I'm taking it.
Yeah, I think they've been a 100-win team the last few years. They've gotten better over the offseason. I think that extra inning Game 5 loss to the Nationals really is going to inspire them this year. I think they're going to come out for blood in the first half of the season. I think they're going to keep their pedal to the metal. I could see Los Angeles winning 104, 105 this year.
I'm in that same boat. I think, assuming they stay healthy, obviously, they've got the best lineup in baseball. They have probably two of the best hitters in baseball with Mookie Betts, who's going to get he's going to get on base. And you've got Cody Bellinger, who's going to donk shot it and bring him in. So I think, their lineup's stupid. I don't know how much of a factor David Price is going to be. I don't know if they plan on starting him or bring him out of the bullpen or what, but I think having that extra left-handed arm is going to be crucial come postseason time.
Until he plays New York.
If New York can make it.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
So I guess we'll head to the AL. Your favorite, the Baltimore Orioles, sitting at a firm 56.5. Oh, are you?
56.5?
Yeah.
Give me the under all day. 56.
They're not good.
Predicting that team to lose 106 games.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, under. They say life's too short to bet the under. Forget that. Give me the under all day. I don't know if they win 50 this year. The Orioles are terrible. Every other team in the AL East has a bona fide ace. They don't have a bona fide fourth man. They are garbage. Give me the under on Baltimore.
All right, I'm going to go out. I'm going to say they're going to go over by very little. Very little. And I think it's because I think they're going to sweep the Yankees this season. No, I think they go. What's that?
Do you think they go over or under 100 losses?
Over 100 losses.
Over 100? Okay.
I think they go over the 56.5 just because that's a very low number. That's a very low bar. And I think it's hard to lose that many times, but I think they go over 100.
Oh, they're going to find a way. Don't worry. They're finding a way.
I hope they, man, it'll be fun. I don't know if they play the Twins this year, but I'd love to see them go up against the Twins bats. Them and the Yankees, man, it wouldn't even be fair. The Blue Jays,
okay.
74.5.
74.5. Now, this is really interesting. So they added Ryu over the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
I was really shocked by that move. I didn't think they were even players for Ryu.
I didn't think so either.
I think Ryu, other than Garrett Cole, I thought he was the best pitcher available in last season's class. I thought he was better than Bumgarner. There was another pitcher I'm forgetting of. I think it may be Zach Wheeler, maybe. I think he's better than Wheeler. Ryu comes from the LA. He's been used to success. He's had a lot of run support over the years, but I think he's a very good pitcher who flies under the radar. I think 74.5 is very, very disrespectful. I think Toronto goes over. I think they might finish third in that division. I think they're a 500 team, 81 wins.
Okay. I have them under just because they will have to play Boston and the Yankees. And Tampa Bay is very up and down. I never know. Like, they surprised everybody last year.
Yeah.
The Blue Jays have so much young talent, though, with Vladimir Guerrero and Bo Bichette and what's the other one? Is Bagwell with them?
Biggio,
yeah, that's right, Bagwell.
Yep.
They play together in Houston. It's all the same.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've got so much young talent. I just don't know if it's going to be enough to get them to contend right now, and especially with that division being the way it is. I think they're going to be slightly under. I think they're going to make teams work. I think they're not going to be an easy out, but I think they're just not going to have what it takes to win consistently and beat the top teams in the division or in the conference, really. So I'll take them on the under. The Tampa Bay Rays 91.5. I felt like that was pretty high, especially considering the moves that the Yankees made this offseason. I think the Red Sox still have a formidable lineup. So I don't know. I took the under for them, but I don't know how confident I am in that.
You know, the Rays, they surprise you year in and year out. They play in a dumpster fire of a stadium in Tampa Bay. They usually have one of the lowest payrolls in MLB, but somehow they always find a way to put up 90 wins. They got Blake Snell, former Cy Young winner. They've got Charlie Morton, who could put up very good outings. They still got Kiermaier in center, if I recall correctly. Boy, and you know, they are going to play Baltimore. They are going to play Tampa Bay quite a bit. They can't pitch Ryu every game. I'm going to take Tampa Bay, what'd you say, 90.5 or 91.5?
91.5.
I'm taking the under. I think they win 91 this year. 91 and 71.
Yep. I mean, I have them right at under. I think, like you said, 88, 89 wins would be pretty low for them, but I don't think, but 91 or 92, I guess, seems so high. They're one of those teams that it'll be, you just don't know what to expect with them. And they don't have like a superpower lineup, but they're just so consistent.
Sure.
And I think they'll make life tough for the Yankees and at least give them a fight every time they play and make the Yankees earn that one seed if that's what if they end up getting there, which the Yankees are at 101.5. So above the Dodgers right now, coming in, thanks probably Garrett Cole. That probably has a lot to do with it.
Yeah. You know, so I think they're going to go over comfortably. I think they have a chance to hit 110 this year. And the reason why I say that, they did get Garrett Cole. So they needed an ace for a long time. For those of you guys who know me, if you guys don't, I'm a New York Yankees fan. Go ahead, boo me. I don't care. Day one Yankees fan. They've never, the last 5 years or so, they haven't had a true number one. You know, they've pitched Severino. He gets hurt. They had Domingo Germán. He gets suspended. James Paxton comes in. Doesn't really get it all together. Masahiro Tanaka, he could be a 1 on any given night, but he's more like a 3. Garrett Cole's going to come in. If he is Garrett Cole, he's going to be an ace time in and time out. I've heard people say he's going to win the Cy Young in the AL this year. I don't believe that's the case. I think it's really hard for a New York pitcher to win the Cy Young just because you're going to give up so many solo home runs to right field. That's going to inflate your ERA. I don't see Garrett Cole winning the Cy Young. But that lineup, if they can stay healthy, I think they're going to hammer Baltimore. I think they're going to hammer Toronto. Now that Boston's lost their manager, their best player, you know, one of their better pitchers, what do they have to fight for this year? I think New York goes over comfortably. I think you cash that ticket out before the final week of the season.
Okay. I have them at 101 wins. So just under. Okay. But I think a lot of it has to do with if they're up so much in that division, right, and you're going into the playoff stretch, some guys are going to take some time off. You're going to rest guys. And I think you're going to hit 100 wins 2 weeks. That's still not a lot, but probably last week of the season, you're hitting that 100-win mark.
Yeah.
but you're not out there competing because if they already have that 1 seed locked up.
Well, let me ask you this. Say Los Angeles out on the West Coast. Let's say they go out and they're neck and neck with New York. 10 days to go in the season. They're both at 99 wins. No, the All-Star game doesn't determine home field in the World Series anymore. Say whoever's got the most wins between those two hosts Game 7 of the World Series next year. I think that's something you got to keep in mind.
Yeah, I do think those are the two best teams in baseball. So
For
Vegas
sure.
at least has that right. I think taking 101 wins, I'll take just right there. I think it'll be enough to get them to 1 seed in the AL. But I
Sure.
don't think that they're necessarily going to run away with it because the AL East alone is tough, and then you've got to mix in the AL West has. The Angels have Trout, the Astros have who knows at this point, but they've got so many.
True.
They have teams who can force the issue and can give the Yankees a loss here and there. I think that's just it'll dwindle a little bit, but either way, I think 101 wins. That's nothing to laugh at. That's prime position in the playoffs, at least for the conference side. So
For sure.
the Red Sox after the Mookie Betts trade dropped to 85.5.
What was it before?
I don't know.
85.5 is almost what I would figure it would be before the trade. Honestly, 85.5. I think that's under. I think it could be under to the point where Toronto takes the three spot in the division. They lose Mookie, they lose Alex Cora. I think Alex Cora is a very good manager. His rookie year comes out, wins 108. Chris Sale last year, he starts the season like 0-7. Never really put it together last year. I think as I touched about a few minutes ago, I think Boston is they're going to be looking up, and they're going to be looking up early. I think Boston, if they're not a 500 team, boy, they're going to be pushing it. I think they go under.
I have them at over, but just at 86. So
Okay.
Nothing crazy. Still third in the division.
Sure.
But I don't see a team like Boston sucking horribly. I think they still have a decent roster. They've got enough bats in place. I haven't looked at their pitching staff, but I think they're going to be able to score. So I think that alone, you're going to win some. I think. Third place in the AL East isn't horrible, especially. You're playing Baltimore.
Sure.
Give them what they can.
And if you look at those teams in that division, you have Sale for New York, you have Sale for Boston, you have Cole for New York, Ryu for Toronto, Snell in Tampa Bay. Any one of those four pitchers could conceivably win a Cy Young any given year.
Yep.
So there's a lot of top tier pitching in that division. Boston could go win 100 this year. It really depends on who shows up, who comes to play. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see what happens, especially the first couple months of the year.
Yeah, I agree. I hate watching Tampa Bay because they have Snell, but they do that what's that? Not their starting pitcher, but they do like the 2 inning.
Opener.
Yeah. I'm like, it's a good strategy. It saves the arm, but it hurts for some guys with their like with a Cy Young. Because Snell got pulled a lot last year after 5 or 6 when he was dominating. So conceivably you could think that he would actually go out there and dominate for 8-9 innings, and you have a whole different team. But the AL East is definitely going to be up for grabs, I think, for that second spot in the division and for a wild card spot. So that'll be fun to keep up with. The AL Central, by far the lowest expectation, I think, of any division in baseball. We'll start at the top, I guess. The Twins are at 91.5.
So
they've got highest off by a bit.
Say what?
They've got the highest prediction line there by quite a bit.
Yeah, I think they won 100 games last year. They were a surprise 100-win team. They play New York in the playoffs, get swept. There's levels to this. I think Minnesota. I think they could be a really good team in June. I don't think they're that very good of a team in October.
Yeah.
But if we're not talking about October, let's focus on June. I think they're playing a bunch of garbage teams, 80 times this year, I think they could go maybe 600 in their division and then go, sub 500 elsewhere and still win the division.
Yeah.
So I think 91.5. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I'm going to take the over.
I originally have this at under, but I'm not sure because the division is so bad. I think they're going to get so many wins out of it.
Yeah.
And they did
Somebody's gotta
add,
win.
yeah, and they added Kenta Maeda this week in that Red Sox Boston deal, or Red Sox Dodgers deal. So they've now got their ace. They've got Jose Barrios.
Yep.
They added Maeda. They've got their bats are absurd.
CJ
I think.
Yeah. They got a lot of good pieces. The thing is with them, I think they could be a really good team in the regular season. I just don't see them making too much of a splash come the end of the year.
I do think adding Maeda as another starting option gives them a chance in the postseason. I just don't think they're going to be. I mean, when you're going up against Houston and New York in the playoffs, I don't think they're going to be able to compete. But in the AL Central, I think they're going to run away with it. So I'm going to change my under to a comfortable over. I didn't even factor in the fact that they're going to have to play Kansas City and Detroit all season. So. Yeah, I'll take the over for Minnesota, and I think they're going to get into the playoffs easily.
Who's next?
We'll go Kansas City.
Okay.
What do you think their line is?
65.5.
Oh, close. 64.5.
Boy, I would say that's accurate. Are they the worst team in that division?
No.
Oh, gracious. 64.5. I'm gonna take the over. With the amount of talent or lack thereof in that division, there can't be 4 teams that lose 100 games. I gotta take Kansas City with the over on that.
I'm taking them with the under just because I'm taking Detroit with the over. That's the only reason.
Okay.
Detroit's at 57.5. I don't think. Oh man, Detroit's bad. They did draft Patrick Mahomes though. Who knows?
Oh, okay. Well, that changes things.
I think those two teams are going to compete for 60 wins apiece. So that puts one over, one under. I'll take it.
57.5. That means they're predicting them to lose 105. Wow, are they that bad?
Apparently. Who you got, Orioles or Tigers?
I would probably take the Tigers. I took the Orioles with a very comfortable under. They got to play New York. They got to play New York. They got to play Houston. They're going to have to play the AL East. I'm going to take over. I'm going to take the over on that. I just can't.
Yeah, dude, it's not going to be a fun year for that division.
I would not bet that line, though. Oh, my God.
The Indians would be their second favorite right now for that division. They're at 86.5.
So this is more interesting. So, boy, they kind of fall in the group of St. Louis. They don't peak too high. They don't dip too low. I'm going to go under. I'm going under with the Cleveland Indians.
Okay. I took the over.
Just because somebody's got to go
over. Because they kept Lindor. That's the only reason. If they would have traded him to the Dodgers, they thought about, then they're way under. But I think they still have a percent.
It only takes a couple stints on the 15-day DL for the line to change.
That is true. I'll take them on the over just because, like you said, somebody's got to do it.
Sure.
They could compete for a wild card spot, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think they're built for that long of a run. But the White Sox, because I flopped the Twins for the over, I'll put the White Sox at under to go even. They're at 83.5? 83.5, yeah. Which I think that's a decent line. I think I would put them 82, 83 wins.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think they're a 500 team, plus or minus a couple games. Just with that kind of logic, I'm going to say the under. I'm going to say the under. I think it'll be close. It might come down to that final series at the end of September. But 81, 82 wins, I think, is a good number for the Chicago White.
I hate to say this, man, as a Cubs fan, but the White Sox and the Reds are two of the teams I'm most excited to watch this year. So,
really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm a huge fan of Tim Anderson. Okay. And then Eloy Jimenez, he came over to the Cubs for Jose Quintana a few years ago. But, I mean, the White Sox, they're at least energetic. I don't know their pitching staff in a while, but I know they've got some nice young pieces coming up. Yeah. So they'll be at least, if they're not good this year, give them 2 more years. They're going to be a legit threat in that division. So at least keep an eye on that for the future. Now the AL West. This one, pretty up and down. The Astros right now are projected at 96. Not even in a half. This was the only one that had a straight line, but I'm taking the
96 under. Even?
Yeah. I'm taking the under just because everybody's going to have a target out for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really depends. How much does A.J. Hinch mean to that team?
Yeah.
You know, they did lose Garrett Cole. You know, they lost Cole. If they had been cheating, I'm not going to accuse them of anything, but I'm pretty salty. If those wins were technologically enhanced, we'll see. We'll see how I'm going to take the under as well. I think they take a step back this year. I think they might still be a division winner, a wild card team, but I don't see them being nearly as good as what they have in previous years.
Yeah, I agree. I think they still win that division with like 95, 94 wins. Okay. I just don't think they're going to be – they're not what they used to be. I think everybody's going to have that target out for them.
Sure.
And you never know. I mean, if Altuve takes a fastball to the rib cage because somebody's pissed and it breaks a rib and he's out.
6 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that can alter your season drastically. So, obviously, you don't want that, but – I mean, it's baseball. It's going to happen. Let's be honest. Somebody's throwing some gas.
Baby. Unwritten rules.
The Angels at 84.5.
Over.
Yeah. Easy.
I think Mike Trout, I think this might finally be the year he sees a playoff game. You know, I think they've tried to add pieces. They've tried to better that team. I think it's a shame Mike Trout has not been as visible in October as what he should be. I think that changes this year. I'm going to take the over on the Los Angeles Angels.
I do too. They get Tommy La Stella back, who he broke out for them quite a bit last year right before the All-Star break. I think he broke his leg. That kind of hurt them going into the second half. Trout's just an unstoppable talent.
Yeah.
Andrelton Simmons is still a really good shortstop. I think he's going to get some defensive plays, and he's going to at least make a difference. I don't know. So I think they go over. I think they can compete for that second spot in that division easily.
For sure.
The team that they would be fighting with them would be Oakland. They're at 90 or 89.5. I took the under. I didn't think Oakland was that good. I mean, I think they're good. I just don't think they're 90 win good.
Yeah, Marcus Semien. You know, I really like him. They got Chapman at third. Boy, 89.5. I think Houston goes under. I think Los Angeles goes over. I'm going to say slightly under for Oakland. I think they are an 88 to 89 win team.
I feel you on that one. That's kind of where I'm at. Do you want the Mariners or the Rangers last?
Let's do the Mariners last.
All right. Rangers, 76.5. Under. Yep. I don't think they have anything. They traded Nomar Mazara.
Yeah.
They've got Joe Gallo at third base, which I don't know why he's playing third base, but they've got bats. They have no pitching. They're getting old. I mean, Elvis Andrus is still playing shortstop for them. I feel like he's been there for 20, 30 years. I don't think they've got any sort of real pieces that can compete. I think they're going to be huge sellers at the deadline. Yeah, I think this is the year somebody makes a trade for Andrus.
Yeah, I think if you got Texas stock, this is the time to sell. I think 76 is way too high for him. I think they could be pushing 100. I don't think they are a 100-loss team. I think they're definitely going to be a 90-loss team, somewhere in that ballpark. That would put them around 72 wins. I think they lose more than that. I think 70.5 would be a better line on them.
Yeah. I just don't think, especially playing in that division where there's 3 teams ahead of them who are legit threats and can put up runs quickly. I think it's going to make they don't have a bullpen or a starting rotation.
Nope.
I mean, they've got a few pieces. I think they have LeBlanc in their bullpen, and or Leclerc. I don't know. I can't remember his name. But they got somebody who's pretty solid out of their bullpen. But
I mean, if you look ahead of them, if you're a member of the Angels or if you're a member of the A's, you got to have a sense of urgency this year. Houston is down. They took a big body blow over the offseason. They lost their head coach, lost their general manager, lost their best pitcher. Justin Verlander isn't getting any younger. Altuve, Bregman, Correa, a couple, if either one of them get a 15-day DL stint, that's 2-week period where, the division could change. Yeah. I think there's a sense of urgency in that division this year. I think the A's, I think if they don't capitalize, they'll be right where they're at. I think the Angels will capitalize. That's why I took them over. I think that's why those teams are going to beat up on the Texas Rangers, and I'm going to take Texas under pretty comfortably.
All right, and that leaves the last team, the Seattle Mariners, 65.5 wins.
Boy, is Ichiro their ace this year? Or?
I don't know.
They got rid of Felix, so I'm like, who's on that team?
Couldn't tell you. They got Malik Smith in center field. I like him.
I tell you, 65.5. Boy, their number one pitcher last year was Marcus. What's his last name? Obviously not that good. I can't remember him, but I did start him in fantasy baseball last year. 65.5. Boy, I don't like that. I'm going to say under. I'm
going over just slightly. I think they're going to win some over the Rangers, and that's going to put them over. I think they're not good, but they're not. I don't think they're horrible. They've got speed, and I think they're going to. Sure. And I think they've got a few bats. I know they have Daniel Vogelbach, Malik Smith. They had another piece on their infield. They had a good shortstop, I believe. I can't think of who it was right now, but I think they're going to be at least halfway competitive, and
sure,
we'll see what happens. But
yeah,
who you got winning the World Series?
Well, so just looking back at our predictions, so I've got the Yankees winning the AL East. I've got the Minnesota Twins winning the Central, and I'm going to take the Astros to win to win the West. The wild card teams in that division, I think you're probably going to look at Tampa Bay and Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tampa Bay, if you're going to start Blake Snell, you got a really good chance, especially in a one game. You throw an opener, get 5 innings out of him, get 4 out of Morton if you need it. I would give Tampa Bay the edge. I would say they would play New York. I would take New York in that series comfortably. I would think they would probably play. Boy, I would hope they play Houston. Oh, that would make me so happy. I would say Minnesota would probably beat Houston just because Houston's pitching. Verlander, if he could be the Verlander of the last couple of years, maybe, they got a better chance. They still got Greinke out there.
Yeah.
I would take New York and Minnesota, with New York going to the World Series in the National League. Give me the Cardinals in the Central. Give me, man, I don't know if I want the Nationals or the Braves. I'm going to take the Nationals. Give me the Nationals in the East, and in the West, give me the Dodgers. Your wild card teams. I think both teams are going to come out of the NL East. I think it's going to be the Braves and probably the Mets. I said earlier, I don't think the Mets are a playoff team. But after thinking about it, boy, maybe the Padres if they can win a couple.
Yeah.
I don't see the Brewers getting super hot at the end of the year. So I would take the Dodgers to get the 1 seed. Give me DeGrom in a 1-game series. Give me New York and LA, and then St. Louis and Washington. For the NLCS, I'd probably go St. Louis and LA. And then, then you got Price, you got Kershaw, you got Kenley Jensen. I don't think it would be enough. I would go St. Louis.
Okay.
I would go New York and St. Louis in the World Series. I will take the New York Yankees. No bias. No bias. Give me New York.
Yeah, I'll take the Cubs too.
Give me New York in 6.
Okay. AL, I think Yankees take the East. Twins take the Central. Astros take the West. So we agree there.
Yep.
Wild cards. I'll go Cleveland and LA.
Okay. So you think that the AL East gets only 1 team in the playoffs this year?
Yeah, because I think the Red Sox, Blue Jays, and Rays beat each other up and knock each other out.
Got it.
I think that's what's going to happen.
Got it.
So we got what? Cleveland, LA, and the wild card. Give me Cleveland. Cleveland goes on, plays the Yankees. Yankees run through them.
Sure.
Pretty easy. What's the other one? Let's see. The Astros, Twins. I'll take the Twins. I think the Twins have the bats to do it early in the playoffs. I think, and they've got 3 pitching, or I think they have 3 pitchers. So
sure,
let them run through that. On the NL side, I'll take the Braves in the East. Reds, I think, will beat out St. Louis for the Central.
Okay.
Give me the Reds, and then obviously the Dodgers. Wild card, I will go Mets, Cardinals. Wanted to go Padres, but I don't think they have it yet.
Sure.
So let's see, we got Mets, Cardinals. Give me the Mets. Pitching's going to win that wild card.
Yep, I agree.
Let's see, who would be next? Dodgers playing the Dodgers, Mets, Dodgers.
Yeah.
Reds, Braves. That gets interesting.
That is very interesting.
Very interesting. I think both sides have bats and decent pitching. I don't think either side's crazy, but I think you throw Luis Castillo out there in a game 7, game 5, whatever it is. I think he can win a big game. He's got so much arm.
For sure.
His changeup's filthy. Give me the Reds. I don't care. Give me the Reds to beat the Braves. So we got Reds, Dodgers, and Yankees, Twins. Yankees get the Twins in 6. Man. Oh, Reds aren't beating the Dodgers. Don't get crazy. Dodgers beat the Reds. And then I don't think the Dodgers have the pitching. They have the bats to win the World Series, but not nearly enough pitching. Yeah. I think Garrett Cole can silence them. Kershaw struggles in the postseason.
True.
Give me the Yankees. Yankees 2020 World Series champs.
Yeah, no bias either. No bias.
I hate the Yankees. So, I mean, their pitching, I think, is going to be the difference maker come into the season, and obviously their bats are going to be enough to put it up. So
yeah, I think they finally got the piece they needed. I think if you can get Garrett Cole, you still got the bullpen, you still got Chapman, you still got Ottavino, you still got Brenton, you still got Chad Green. You're getting Betanzas back. I think they got the pieces to make a run. I think this is their year.
Yep.
It's coming home.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, man, it would be cool though if the Reds made it that far after how bad they've been the last 4 years. Yep. And then they just come out. I mean, they've made so many moves. I'll probably make my way to Cincinnati a few times this year to catch them. Man, baseball's going to be fun this year. Everybody's really excited. I mean, there's a lot of teams listed between 82 and 88 wins. So it really is anybody's year for those last few wild card spots. And
For sure.
I'm looking forward to it. I always hate it. Like I'll be sitting here during football season, like, man, baseball sucks. I can't watch baseball. And then like last night I'm like, man, it's almost baseball season. I love me some baseball. So we'll see what happens.
I like it.
Do you want to make any predictions for awards and stuff? You want to hold that?
I will hold that. I'll hold that till we get closer to spring training, closer to spring training games. I kind of want to see how players come back from injuries, where everybody ends up. I think I don't think the trades are over yet.
I don't think so either.
And I believe where you play has a good deal of what kind of award you have the possibility to win. So I'm going to hold off on that.
All right, sounds good. We'll come back with that here in a few weeks. Then, anything else you want to talk about before we close this out?
No. So later this week, I'm looking forward to NBA All-Star Saturday night. I'm always a big fan of the dunk contest every year, except for the year Gordon and Levine went at it. Every year it disappoints me. Every year. The year Gordon and Levine went at it was fantastic in Toronto, but I look forward to it every year because, I usually don't have anything better to do on that Saturday. NBA All-Star game on Sunday night. It'll be really interesting to see how they commemorate Kobe and to see the new format for the All-Star game. I'll be really interesting to see that. Not this upcoming Saturday. The next Saturday, I already touched on it. Wilder versus Fury. I'll have more detail and more predictions regarding that next week. With the All-Star break this upcoming weekend, I'll sit down and I'll think about it. Think about who I think might be out of the playoff picture now that could be in the playoff picture come April. Hockey season's in full effect. There's no football anymore except the XFL. Let's go Battle Hawks. It's exciting, man. A lot to look forward to.
Yeah. The All-Star game Sunday night, man, I don't know if you saw the rosters yet, but Team LeBron, if they don't beat Giannis by 80 points, I'll be disappointed. Those rosters are lopsided as hell. Yeah, I mean, XFL, I'll keep my eye on.
Sure.
NFL drafts coming up. We'll be having the scouting combines here in a few weeks. Pro days, stuff like that's coming up. That's all I really focused on around the world of football. But baseball starts here soon. Cubs get their own network here in a couple weeks, so I'm ready for that.
There you go.
But yeah, other than that, that's all we got for this week.
All right.
Next week, talk about whatever happens. I don't even know. I haven't even had a chance to look ahead yet, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Remember, guys, life's too short to bet the under.
Unless you're the Orioles.
Orioles hammer the under.
There you have it, guys. All right, we will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.